Crypto market always seems to throw us curveballs when we are looking more bullish than ever. This time it is war. Always something comes to the table that shakes up the markets. Last night we got down to about 103K on Bitcoin. Now we're actually looking pretty stable around the current levels, and I'm going to go over why you should not panic sell your Bitcoin, my strategy for altcoins, as well as my strategy to keep making money even in a war-shaken market where a lot of people are panicking, a lot of people are panic selling their tokens. I'm going to give you my exact thesis, why I'm not budging in this market, and also what I am doing with my altcoins. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
And first things first, guys, be sure to drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every week here on In the Game. We have you covered across the entire crypto landscape with all the alpha that you need to win in these markets, as well as a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some incredible sponsors from 𝗿𝗏𝗪𝗍𝗍, 𝗪𝗡𝗏 Labs, as well as 𝗏𝗏𝗏, who is running an amazing sign-up bonus and volume driver right now on their platform. If you deposit certain amounts and also do a certain amount of trading volume, you're either going to get dollar amount bonuses or win as high level as an Omega Globemaster, an Apple Vision Pro. You can win an iPhone, an iPad. There's lots of rewards here for new signups on 𝗏𝗏𝗏. So check out 𝗏𝗏𝗏 down below in the description. The #1 centralized exchange with no KYC. If you're in the US and you're looking for a place to trade, this is 100% your place in the centralized exchange game. So let's go ahead and jump into the markets. And as mentioned, we did see a dip yesterday from those 109K levels down to 103, and this was due to war. And obviously, whenever there's war talks in the economy, in the markets, there's always a panic. But to be completely honest with you, I don't really see a reason to be panicking. Now, altcoins obviously did take a hit. If we move over here to the watch list and we just go to the 1 day, a lot of coins are down, 15, 10, 20% here on the daily timeline. And that's what happens when there's massive fear in the markets. Most people are going to run and try to sell their lower conviction altcoins. But at the same time, we can look through the market here and see what's holding up well as to potentially what to continue to accumulate in the altcoin sector. But also, let's just read between the lines here, because we see this panic, but who is buying? Well, the smartest institutions and companies continue to buy the dip. So if we roll through here, we see a Chinese public company, 𝗔𝗔𝗍 Enterprise. Their plan is to accumulate 5,000 Bitcoin. Their first buy was a 38 Bitcoin purchase. And then on top of that, like I mentioned, they are looking to accumulate a total of 5,000 Bitcoin. We continue to move on. Just this morning, BlackRock bought the dip. BlackRock bought $100 million worth of Ethereum. While you are panicking, they are buying the dip. We just continue moving on. We see SharpLink Gaming spent $462 million today to buy Ethereum at an average price of $2,626. And even myself, I tweeted this 2 days ago. If you're not following me on Twitter, by the way, I think that'll be down below in the description. But I buy Bitcoin to this day. I've been in crypto for 8 years at this point. I buy Bitcoin every single day. And I had recently doubled my daily buy amount just to continue accumulating because I want my own strategic reserve, right? So first and foremost, if you're allocated into Bitcoin, if you are accumulating Bitcoin, continue accumulating and do not panic. Bitcoin is the strongest asset class out there for the next few years. I don't see any trajectory out there that is going to be stronger than what Bitcoin can and has provided over the last few years. The Bitcoin arms race, as I have termed it, is not going to slow down. And I can tell you this, if this war does drag on and we see prices go lower, it is just better opportunity. And then as we keep looking down the line, look at who's coming into the space. We see Walmart, Amazon potentially exploring to launch their own stablecoin. We see Chainlink working with JP Morgan and Ondo to do an RWA public chain type of thing, as you see the Chainlink runtime environment powered a cross-chain test workflow with JP Morgan and Ondo. So we see big players, big money, big institutions coming in every single day. So my thing is, never panic during these time Like whenever there's war or big negative news or tariffs in the economy, for the most part, they're short-lived dips unless it really got catastrophic. If the US got involved, then we're probably going to see a much more severe dip. But to me, the fact that we're still holding at these $105,000 levels, that gives me extreme confidence for the fact that I think that Bitcoin and the market is really unfazed by this news. And I would not be panicking if I was you. But what I would be doing is looking through the altcoins that either didn't dip whatsoever or that took a super small dip, because that is showing strength in the market. So if we go through here, really the stuff that's up over the 24 hours, like quite tremendously, is nothing of note that you would want to accumulate. We do see Limbo, one of my favorite AI agents, up 11% on the daily, which is nice to see. But for the most part, most coins are in the red. But when we look at the strength here, it's pretty obvious what's sticking out. And to me, like I said, this is a hyper liquid bull market. And right now, hyper liquid at $41, only down like 2%, 3% on the daily. This is insane. And we're literally seeing public companies accumulate hyper liquid into their treasury. That is insane. It's one of the first like real altcoins below the spectrum of Ethereum to be added to a public company's balance sheet. So we're the first public company to add hype to its treasury, just the beginning. Hyperliquid, which is just absolutely insane. And as you can see here, the market literally nuked, and Hyperliquid is just continuing to hold strong. So to me, that is a consistent accumulation and a consistent winner throughout this market. And if you missed my last video, I went over exactly how to get exposure to Hyperliquid and qualify for the season 2 or the airdrop round number 2 without really feeling like you have to buy the top. Like if you're scared of buying Hyperliquid at $40, there's ways in that video to get exposure for less than $100 and probably come out with a 4-figure airdrop or a 5-figure airdrop at the end of the day whenever Hyperliquid does their second round of airdrops. But other than Hyperliquid, you can dig deeper into the ecosystems. And for me, 𝗬𝗎 at $3 is an extreme discount. I think that that is just ridiculously cheap. And when 𝗬𝗎 season comes back around, I think this is just going to absolutely explode. We see Avalanche under $20, which we'll talk about here shortly. We see 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗏 down 17% on the monthly. This would probably be my number one long-term accumulation in this market currently. I really don't see a token as strong as 𝗏 in this market that has dipped that much. Like whenever you're looking across the board, you see 𝗂𝗂𝗏 down 35%. I do like 𝗂𝗂𝗏 long-term, but I would be looking at something like a 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏 under $400 per coin. I think is an extreme discount when you're talking about the number one AI token, while AI is by far the hottest niche. And then on top of that, I think Super at 63 cents will run pretty hard into the black hole launch, which we will now jump into the ecosystem that I would be most paying attention to right now. And obviously, we talk about this quite frequently, but right now, this ecosystem, as also another person is comparing it, this is acting like early day Solana. Like whenever Solana really was picking up steam, nothing is performing as well in the trenches as Avalanche, which sounds absolutely insane to say, but Avalanche's ecosystem has never been this hot. AVAX feels like it's in a similar place to where Solana was in late 2023. A lot of FUD, a lot of people talking about how the price is never going to move, and the price is still relatively suppressed under that $20 level. But in the background, the trenches are super hot. In 2023, it took 2 months for Solana to make the move from 20 to 100 plus. And when AVAX starts moving, wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar happen with it. And on top of that, we see meme coins in the trenches are way more alive than Solana. And the attention is probably 10% of what Solana has. So right now, there's not really Solana runners on a day-to-day basis, but we literally see Lambo, House, Wolfi, or Wolfie, whatever you want to call it. There's multiple coins that have come out, even over the last week or two, that have hit 10, 20, 30, $40 million market caps. And the people in the trenches on the arena or on the specific apps in the ecosystem. I know Trader Joe just came out with a trenching platform. You can use stuff like 𝗪𝗡𝗡𝗥, which is like a trading bot, which you can also enable with Avalanche and snipe some of these tokens early. But if you're on the Arena app and you're just, scavenging through your following or the trenches, you can find coins here very early that are performing 100 times better than what we're seeing on Solana. So right now, I do continue to stack Avalanche under $20. The fact that this is still under $20 amazes me. And if this ecosystem continues this hot, I'm going to have to do a full ecosystem breakdown, because right now there's about 5 to 10 different ways to make money inside of Avalanche, whether it be meme coins, gaming, InfoFi, SocialFi, DeFi. There's so many ways that people are making money in Avalanche. And honestly, when I look across the spectrum, 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗏 tweeted this yesterday about how people are winning in InfoFi, Virtuals Protocol, NFTs, like on-chain ICOs, their conviction bets like Hyperliquid. But even one of the biggest accounts on crypto Twitter, 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗏, who I love his content, not mentioning the Avalanche trenches. But if you dig deep on crypto Twitter, the amount of people that are winning on Avalanche and winning massively, it doesn't even compare to anything else. And they're winning organically. Like, this ecosystem is just pushing out product after product, coin after coin, that is simply printing money for the ecosystem. And look, the attention is just not there. As we can see, it's left off this main list, where honestly, when I look across, people are making money in virtuals, but they can't sell if they want to keep participating. So, are they really making money? And that's a legit question, because who has really exited and taken the hit and being in points jail where you can't allocate into further launches? And, NFT mints, well, it's all about if you're just selling on launch or if you're holding. And then InfoFi is just simply annoying. Like, seeing people tweet the same BS AI slop all across the timeline that adds no value just to get points on the YAP leaderboard or whatever the case is. But effectively, the one ecosystem that's thriving right now is Avalanche, and the attention is simply really not gravitating towards it. So if this does continue, I'm going to have to do a full Avalanche ecosystem breakdown, because you can win in gaming, as we see off the grid can be withdrawn. Their NFTs can be withdrawn and traded starting as soon as July, as Gunzilla preps regulated wallet for Web 2 gamers. On top of that, we see DeFi thriving on Avalanche. What do you call an ecosystem with a token integrated into over 100 plus projects, that launches a new DeFi protocol with buybacks on leading chains and has an army of diamond-handed multi-cycle holders? That is Super. So I mentioned Super would be my #1 gaming accumulation heading into the Black Hole DEX launch. I think that people are going to continue to buy and stake Super so they can get an allocation into the Black token. And look, the movement has begun. We see Spellborn is launching their token on Black Hole. 𝗥𝗡𝗏 has now partnered and going to bring 𝗥𝗡𝗏 to the platform whenever Black Hole goes live, as well as Bloodloop is going to be moving their liquidity to Black Hole. So it does seem like a pretty widespread gaming movement could come to Avalanche in the form of Black Hole. And for those people saying that gaming is dead or whatever the case is, it really couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, the industry leader, Mythical Games, they just put out their FIFA Rivals game. I'm excited to see the metrics of this after a couple months go by, just to see how much player attention is in this economy. And look, there's new Ponzi and on-chain games that are printing every single week. We've seen it over the course of the last few months. Bitcoin on Abstract. We have On-Chain Heroes, which is active and absolutely ripping at this point in time as far as players in the ecosystem. We see stuff like Hedge Empire on brand new chains like Sophon. And then coming up, literally on Monday, we have the pre-sale for the Ink token. This is SPY Inc. I think this is going to be one of the most successful, or in my opinion, could be one of the most successful on-chain games, quote unquote Ponzi style, if you think of it that way, because you're going to really be in the trenches doing these different type of idle activities. But on Monday, their pre-sale does begin here on June 16th. You can get a $1,200 allocation on the whitelist. And then on the next day, on Tuesday, there's a first come, first serve, which is unlimited for those on the whitelist. And then on Tuesday, the 17th, is the public sale. Their hard cap is going to be $2.6 million. And then the game and token will launch simultaneously on June 19th. I love the gameplay loop that they posted here on this game where you can infiltrate, sabotage. I think that it sounds very intricate and could be one of those multi-layered on-chain games that has a little more longevity than what we have seen in the past. So really excited to see 𝗫𝗍 Inc. come to market. And also 𝗪𝗏𝗏 Protocol. They just concluded their pre-sale, which we alluded to in one of our previous videos today. And I know the demand was heavy. It was pretty allocated based off my conversations with people in the space and with their team. And I just think truly the 𝗕𝗵𝗍 SocialFi meta is absolutely broken, but I love the proof of activity that Shards and the Aura platform are pushing. What have you done on chain and what are your milestones? And that's what you're rewarded off of. So really excited to see the Shards protocol go live. Their TGE is on June 17th. So that'll be on Tuesday. So we have some exciting stuff coming up if you got in on this pre-sale, or if you're looking to get in on the 𝗫𝗍 Inc. pre-sale. I think both of these are going to do very well for early incumbents, and I just love the theory behind both of these ecosystems. So that's what I'm looking at in the market right now. For the most part, my head is buried in the sand in the Avalanche ecosystem because there's runners coming out of here every single day, and then we just look forward. The amount of development and growth going on AVAX is undisputed, but on top of that, I'm also just so knee deep in the Hyperliquid ecosystem. I think that this airdrop number 2 could be one of the biggest airdrops we've ever seen in crypto. I truly think that Hyperliquid will hit $100 per hype this cycle. And look, for those of you who are interested, this next week, Monday or Tuesday, we will be launching our trading here public on Nexus, and every dollar of volume on this platform goes towards your volume on Hyperliquid, as our crypto perps are powered by Hyperliquid's technology. You can also trade stocks, you can trade Forex, equities, major markets. So we'll have this live for you guys early next week, and we're really excited to get this out there fully decentralized, no KYC. You use your wallets, you custody your own funds, no counterparty risk. It is truly a platform built for degens, and we're excited to get this out there next week. But that's what I'm looking at in the markets. I'd be accumulating strong altcoins. To me, there's really 5 altcoins that I would be looking at, and that would be Hyperliquid, it would be 𝗬𝗍, Avalanche, 𝗬𝗏, as well as 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Those are my 5 altcoins I'm zeroed in on right now. On top of that, I just continue to accumulate Bitcoin because look, if BlackRock and the smartest people in the world, smartest investors in the world are continuing to double down even a day after a big war springs, then you should be too. And none of us should be panicking in this crypto market. So guys, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel. Is your sentiment similar to mine? Are you panic selling? Are you shifting around your portfolio? Are you selling your Bitcoin to the people who are going to eventually rule the world because they have so much Bitcoin? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see y'all on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.